All right, and welcome back finally. Strength Hammer podcast has returned after 1 week off? 2 weeks? I forget what it was. 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks,
Yeah,
yeah. At
yeah,
least 2 weeks.
yeah. But hey, episode 116. Welcome,
Hey,
new folks. We're officially over 600 subscribers. So cheers to that. More than I thought this random podcast would ever get. But you guys are liking it.
just messing around, chatting hobby and fitness, and you guys listen to it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And doing my best here. Sorry, I have a bit. I'm back from Atlanta, obviously, and all that fun, and then the holiday, but caught a bit of that con crud, so my voice is a little deeper right now. Uh,
I
so
like it. I think you should just always have Concrud.
I would if I wasn't having to have a cough with it.
Ah, that's right.
That's the
That's
worst
right.
part.
You win some, you lose some.
Exactly. Ups and downs. I mean, yeah, you cut and you get great abs and vascularity, and then you can't
That's right.
can't do your max lifts anymore. So you gotta
That's right.
take your
Feel
choices.
weak? That's right. That's right. I'm the opposite right now, bro. Bulk is going so well.
That's
I'm
good.
I I've been so consistent, and I've had so many times I was tempted to stop bulking. I'm like, no, this is worth it. I have
Push
3 more
through.
weeks.
That's awesome. Well, you'll
Yeah.
have a well, you'll see Friday. I got a little treat for you. Um,
Oh, okay.
it's for the end of the bulking phase. Let's see how much
Oh, good, good.
just straight trend, just straight trend.
Bro, I've been waiting for this. Things I'm not gonna buy it for myself, but if somebody gifts it to me, it's a totally different story.
Right, it's not you using it then. It's different.
Right?
Yeah,
No, no, no. It's a gift. I can't refuse a gift. Kidding me?
exactly. Um, anyway, yeah. So I guess to kick things off back into the flow of things, Alex, I think I know what the answer is going to be, but how's your lawn?
It's same. Yep. Not cut it. It's been snowing.
Yeah,
It's literally snowing outside as we speak.
yeah.
So
We got snow last night, about 4 inches my way. It's still coming down. Imagine you're
yep.
probably similar.
Maybe a little less, but yeah, very similar.
So let me ask you
I'm
this:
on time.
how's your sidewalk slash driveway?
Sidewalk is fine. I think most of the snow did not end up laying because it wasn't. Actually, I don't remember. I kind of left early this morning. It's fine. It's usually good. We haven't had enough snow for it to lay or freeze over, and put some salt on it. It's been fine.
Gotcha. I have to go shovel after this call, so
Really? He must have got more snow than I.
I must have, or maybe it's just a little bit colder with where we're at position to the mountain
Sure.
that it just sticks a little better. So
Could be.
it's
Could be.
yeah. My neighbors have shamed me and done their plowing and stuff beforehand, but
Are you the last one?
I'm not because the house next to me is
Okay.
for sale.
Oh.
But
So on a technicality, you're
on
not
on a
not the last
technicality,
one.
but I'm also just gonna go shovel theirs anyway. So
Sure. Oh, that's nice. That's good.
it's an extra like 2 feet. It's not that bad. So make their house look nice. Get some good neighbors in.
Very good.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I'm excited for that. But Alex, today
Yes.
we're not really talking about fitness for once.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah,
What a bummer.
it's okay. Sorry to Kevin and Steve out there, two of the people who actually are perfectly in that Venn diagram. I know for certain of liking the fitness talk and the Warhammer talk. So all Warhammer today.
Oh, Warhammer.
Yeah.
Am I stepping up for Neil then? Is that who you usually break down the reveals with?
No, Neil. Second part of this episode will be me and Neil. I'm going to talk about my experience at the Grand Narrative,
That's right.
and he's going to come along on that journey. So
Very good.
so this is going to be more of a little focus because we had reveals while I was at the Grand Narrative.
That's right.
Oddly enough, I was working during it, so it's so weird. There's a little insight. When I work the GW like US Opens, I'm usually so busy I don't get to see the reveals myself until way later.
That's hilarious. Even though you're right there, you don't get to see it till after the end
I
of the show.
They were happening like literally. I went up to the break room for the staff, shoved Chick-fil-A in my face for food, and I had to go right back to my room. I saw like three Eldar.
Yes. Back to work.
Yeah, and I didn't really see them until like I was flying home and like 2 days after. But hey, it's fine. Yeah, but you lose track of Warhammer when you're running Warhammer events. It's very
That's
odd.
funny. Yeah, you get so immersed because I mean the event. You'll talk about it
Yeah.
more, but I was following it just a little bit. It looked so immersive. It looked really fun.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I would go play in it if I wasn't running it. Like, well, I don't say running it. Zach Rockner, Mike Brandt do an amazing job, as well as all the staff. As one of the cogs in the wheel to help that event run. I
Sure,
don't run that
sure.
event. I'm just
Very
part
humble
of
of you,
helping.
but
Yeah.
yes.
I don't want to steal credit when credit's not due. That's for sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um, But that said, today we're going to talk about all the reveals because we didn't have a
All
chance to do
right.
a separate video on it. So Alex and I are going to go through it together. So
Here for you.
let me get it over here. Boom. All right. World Champs Warhammer preview. So first up, we're starting big. We're starting big, Alex.
Yes.
You're going to love this.
I love this already.
Empire of Man.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I know like that like High Elves and Empire were going to be like back to back, and it was just like
Mm-hmm.
one's going to be out before the
Ah,
other. Empire's coming out first for sure now.
good.
Just looking at this, we get a battalion box, which looks amazing. Like I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's your core plus a steam tank. Alex, is that good?
Exactly.
You know
It's all the
Empire.
troops.
Is that good?
I love Empire. Steam tanks are great. At least they were really good in 8th edition, and I feel like most Empire lists had them,
Hmm.
and they're fun in AOS.
Yeah, they're fun. I like that you can do a steam tank army in AOS, but yeah, just seeing
Yeah, you
this
could.
on the square base is nice.
Yeah, I do like it. I do really like the look of the old regiments
Now, would this be potentially the next army you start for Old World whenever you get there? I know you have a High Elves and you have a Skaven army you're working on more for
for AOS. Yeah.
Sigmar right now. But like, say that's done, are you like maybe I'll pick up the Empire? Like
Well,
you got
you
the
know what's going to
Halfling
happen,
army,
right?
rebase.
Yep. Yep. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rebase the halfling army because the thing is, inevitably, there's going to scrap it. I'm guessing they're going to scrap most things from the halflings for the AOS
Yeah,
from the range. Like they already scrapped the demograph knights. They already scrapped a lot of the troop choices. Like I have 30 crossbowmen, 30 handgunners, so many men at arms. It's like, good as well. Instead of trying to use them in AOS, which they could work, I think I'm just going to go ahead and convert the army to fantasy or the
I
old world.
I've given you flack because you ran an army so much and it just crushed all the painting and hobby awards, which it rightfully deserved. That clock resets if it goes on square bases in my
Yep,
mind.
exactly,
Yep, that's
exactly.
you take it to events and you get more awards with it, buddy. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Right. That's exactly my plan.
Perfect, perfect. Well, we'll make sure
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
we'll get you some bases. Don't you worry.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually well. I'm not sure if you mentioned the event you're running, the invitational,
Oh, not
but I'm
yet.
thinking of if the army book, if the arcane journal comes out in time, because I know they have rules already, but they don't have the arcane journal. I was thinking of actually using that for your event.
Ooh, that could be
Yeah,
fun. We'll see. Hopefully it does. I don't know. That's very tight, so it's
it's gonna be
unlikely.
tight. It's unlikely. I'm thinking, yeah,
But
because it's like literally in a month.
hey, if you want to take a hobby day or hobby afternoon, I help you with rebasing to get that
Oh,
done.
that'd be fun.
I've rebased so much I don't mind it. That'd be fun just hanging out,
Sure, sure.
talking shop. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And I do really love that they actually have a. They don't have them in the rules right now, from what I've seen, but they have the Ogren with a cannon for a gun,
yeah.
have a handgun,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guessing they're gonna give him rules. And guess what? I have an Ogren with a handgun
Yep.
or a cannon for a handgun,
Right.
so that might work pretty well. We'll see.
Could be pretty well. But yeah, so we're gonna get a nice battalion box. Boom, Arcane Journal, Empire Man. Looking forward to that.
Hmm.
Big null focus. Plastic kit's coming back. The old Karl Franz model. They're not going to show the Karl Franz version, obviously. Um, but yeah, and then obviously, uh, plenty of returning plastics.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah,
the
it's a lot of classic models.
flagellants, the great swords. Oh, they're so cool.
Gray swords are really cool.
Archers, Serene peasants. All the artillery because Nuln is coming back in force.
That's right.
I assume we're getting cards too, as usual. But
Hmm.
get all the knights, everything mounted coming back too. All those lovely war machines. And then you're getting, like, see, you're getting the resin backs. You're getting a
Yep.
BSB, some general, some flagellant hero guy. I don't know who that.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is. I don't think he was in the. What I like with a lot of their newer releases or the old world releases is that actually bringing back things that were not in 8th edition, like 7th, 6th edition.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the flagellant we had a flagellant hero because I don't quite remember that from 8th edition.
very true. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know what it is.
yeah, not sure.
Are you excited for the little war wagon coming back?
It's pretty neat. It's pretty dang neat. I might have to. Depends how much I play with the army. I might have to make a halfling one
Just a
that is
giant,
throwing
like,
pie.
giant pie. That'd be good.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just more classics. Just all these
Hmm.
warrior priests. Good to see them back. different varieties, different flavors from the different cities
Hmm.
in Empire. So yeah, that's a good good set there. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Empire is so flavorful, right? It's the furthest thing you can get from bland because there's priests and wizards, like a jack of all trades sort of thing, right?
Yeah,
So I do like Empire a lot and how much flavor it provides.
yeah, they're a good base faction in the game. Yeah, and they're not boring.
Not boring at all.
All right, well, next up we're going down to Krieg, baby.
Krieg baby.
So, I mean, I'm not much of a guard player. I have a Catachan, small force, but I'm excited that Krieg is not only getting new sculpts, but they're on the limited edition and standard cover. That's pretty cool.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. The models look pretty phenomenal, right? Uh, as the internet said, there's not quite enough shovels.
Yep, that's
But
fine.
other than that, I think it's a beautiful release, full army release. It's really
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I love the one on horse. I like that the horses are slightly different. That's fine. That doesn't bother me at all.
Hmm.
Makes it a little more interesting since the type of terrain they're usually on. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I like that they have the mutated hooves.
yep,
It
yep.
like makes them look like the top just looks normal horse, but then the bottom, because of all the radiation, looks messed up.
Well, then the little mine layer thing, I think that's what it is, has like wheels. Like this whole thing's made as if they're like always living in mud. Like that's what
Yes.
they look like, and
Yes.
it's like it fits.
Yeah, I love that a lot.
I was shocked to see heavy artillery getting redone for them too, because
Hmm.
I thought
Hmm.
I thought they were just gonna be like, oh, you're just Alcadian now.
That's right. Yeah. Do you know if the kits are gonna have like optional heads, or those are purely for Krieg?
I think these are purely for Krieg because they're still
That's
technically
cool.
Catachan specific ones.
Okay.
They're older, obviously, but yeah, I think
Right.
these are gonna be Krieg specific.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yep, and the books, Krieg Commissar, that's always fun. Um, yeah, just like I don't play Krieg. I know someone in our group that does, so he's a little excited for this. But he also has a lot of Krieg already, so I'm not sure what all he
Sure.
needs. But
Sure.
that's a cool release. It's cool to see it.
Yeah, yeah, I like it a lot. I think aesthetics, Krieg is probably, as far as guard goes, Astra Militarum. I think it's one of my favorite aesthetics
Hmm.
of a guard. So if I were to ever get into guard, I'd probably go with Krieg. I think they look very cool.
I mean, hey, with that new Trench Crusade coming out, these would be perfect models for it.
It's true.
They kind of
It's
fit
true.
that theme as well, that World War One style.
Very, very much so.
All right, well that's enough for 40K though, because the orcs are coming in.
The orcs, the war.
Yes, there's something I'm kind of bummed about in this release though.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, there is. I mean,
What
yeah,
is it?
War Clans are getting the book. That's coming back. That's great to see.
Yep.
Um, this Cruel Boys character, I don't play Cruel Boys, so I honestly I just have no comment, like
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad. It's just I don't like that size aesthetic, so I would feel I would just be negative towards this model's aesthetic for no reason because some people out there
Sure.
probably absolutely love it. So and it's
Sure.
a quality sculpt. It's nice and open, and I do like the sword if I'm honest.
It's a neat model. It takes up a lot of space. And it's a as a hobgrot, you're probably not very intimidating, so you have to have like more volume to yourself. So
Yeah,
I do like where they went with it.
he is a wide, thick boy. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, yes. He's like trying to be dominating, like doing a lat spread.
Yeah.
Take
Oh
as
yeah.
much space as you can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nice because like the Cruel Boys aesthetic, like I said, doesn't do it for me, but like I'm glad that they're playing with that aesthetic and like
Hmm.
making something different. That's cool to see.
Hmm. It is.
Um, but here's what I'm not too thrilled about. I don't hate it.
Yep.
It's not a bad sculpt in any way, shape, or form.
Sure. Sure.
I don't like army terrain. Sorry.
Fair. Fair.
Like I have a
Yeah.
thousand
And
points, so now I'm
yeah.
gonna have to buy this to throw it in there
Right.
in case I ever decide to play it, so I can have it.
Right. Yeah, and I do wonder if they. It seems like they're going to have different rules for both of them as well.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
one is the Iron Jaws, one is the Cruel Boys. I
right,
see.
right. So I'll do the Iron
That
Jaws
makes sense.
one. Granted, I
Yeah.
mean, you put this thing down. Thankfully, it has a base,
Right.
so you could really kit bash your own if you really wanted to.
You really could. Yeah. I don't think this one is going to be blocking much line of sight.
No, it looks like honestly you're just gonna have a wizard sit up there
Oh
because I think
yeah, that
it's
makes
big enough. It
sense.
looks like it's big enough for a 40 mil. I bet.
Do Iron Jaws? Yeah, do Iron Jaws have wizards? Yeah, they
Yeah,
do. They have the one guy. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's right.
There's the Cruel Boys version, which I do like the Iron Jaws one better out of the two, but
Really? I actually like the Cruel Boys one much better.
it reminds me more of Savage Orcs for sure,
Okay.
which I guess is what they've kind of replaced. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
um, yeah, and then we're getting manifestations, which also it's like,
But
They're
to be
cool.
honest,
They're
though,
amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
I do love the floating skull thing, and I love the foot of Gork. That is
Yeah, the foot of Gork
great.
is amazing. Yeah, to be fair,
Hmm.
foot of Gork, if anything deserves to be a physical manifestation, it's the foot of Gork, no doubt.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
yeah.
love that.
I mean, it's I don't bemoan the look of any endless spells. Honestly, I think they're all fantastic. I
Fair.
just bemoan
Fair.
having to carry them around and that they're currently free and I have to pay for more stuff. That yeah,
Yep. Yep. Hey, it's free. You don't have to have it, but you probably want
but I'm
to.
gonna buy
Hey.
it. So when this comes out, I'll be buying the terrain piece and these to add to my small little Iron Jaws army. But they're cool, like I said, and it's fine. If you're excited about army terrain, then more power to you. Or if you have an
Hmm.
orc theme board, you should buy this terrain piece to put out there because it's cool.
I agree. I think it is cool, especially the
Yeah,
Cool Boys one. To me, just screams orc at least.
yeah. There's zero issues with these sculpts.
Hmm.
It's just the rules that I don't want to deal with, but um, or the inclusion. I don't even know what the rules are, but yeah,
Nope. No
they're
idea.
phenomenal sculpts. I hope I can do the green foot justice. We'll see, because oh man, it looks so good in this picture.
It does look really cool.
And then Iron Jaw's big mob. So I think this is like the return of this is gonna be their spearhead box, I assume. Yes.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. It looks small enough.
Yeah, because there's a spearhead for Cruel Boys, so this is the spearhead it says here
Mm,
for
makes
Iron
sense.
Jaws. So pretty nice. That's a nice little spearhead. That's a good start
Yeah,
to an army too.
probably good value there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
It's all new sculpts too. So yeah, Iron Jaws. Cool. Awesome.
that's Iron Jaws.
Orc War
Yep.
Clans, I should say. I apologize.
Right, right, right.
Now I think we're getting back into territory that you're gonna absolutely love.
Bro, I love this next release.
I
I cannot speak too loudly because there's people here, but man, I love this release.
Yeah, the kit mobs. Oh my god, I loved everything I saw about this. I have
Yep,
zero interest in playing goblins
yep,
or git mobs. No interest. I cannot wait to see these on the table and people.
yeah,
You run me over,
yeah.
sure, it's gonna be beautiful to see.
They're such good sculpts. They're such a good idea, and what they did with it, with the exception of maybe one thing, makes so much sense. I just love it. I just
Yeah,
think it's great.
yeah, zero issues. And
Yeah.
I love the references they're throwing back from like the old world with it too, and like
Hmm.
bringing it forward. So you
Hmm.
get the Git Mob Army box set, which is pretty cool, which comes with that bunch of wolves, wolf chariots, wolf
Yes.
riders, wolf
Yep.
character.
Very on brand for Gitmob.
Yep, and this wolf leader,
Bro.
the snarling alpha, Sun Champa, sorry. He hates the light, I think is what his lore is. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's trying to like that's why he's just like I hate
Trying to
light.
eat the sun.
Yeah. But a couple things that's kind of fun about this is one, it's a fat goblin.
Right. Always a sucker for a fat goblin.
Yep. So and then there's a no there's not a released model yet, but in Old World in the Greenskins Arcane Journal, there's a wolf riding goblin. He's not really
Oh,
fat,
that's right.
but this guy fits perfectly. Everyone's just like, yeah, we're gonna put that guy in a square base.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, because I know what you're talking about. I actually looked at the rules for him, and yeah, you could totally make that guy
Yeah, he
work.
could. I mean, you got a little bit of that Grom the Paunch coming back, you know?
Bro, do you know if Gummy Punch is coming back? Because I haven't seen rules for him
No,
yet.
no, 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 no. No, this is like
Uh,
a reference I feel to him because he's the fat
I see,
goblin.
I see.
He's doing
Yeah.
some weird
Oh, because
amazing quest.
fantasy, the
Yeah,
old world is 200 years before the
yeah.
current,
So like
the 8th edition fantasy. Right, right,
right,
right.
and this is for Sigmar, so like it's
Right,
not
right, right.
in any way associated. It's just kind of like a
Sure, sure, sure.
little bit of a cheeky reference, I suppose.
Yeah, I do. I think the model sculpt is beautiful. I
Yeah,
love that the wolf is standing on top and like almost like preying on an enemy. That's
yeah.
cool.
It's overlooking. Yeah, he's phenomenal model all around. I
Hmm.
absolutely love it.
I could see this as being a very fun painting piece for somebody, even if they don't play the army.
Yeah, and I actually just realized his head is an alternate. You can have with or without the helmet.
Hmm.
That's pretty
Which
sweet.
the helmet I think is cooler, but
Yeah, yeah. I could say
yeah,
I think helmet's cooler.
yeah.
And then yeah, the Wolf Riders coming back in full force. I like it that there's two
Hmm.
riding them.
It's very neat.
Yeah, because like it's a big wolf. Like yeah, you can fit two goblins on it.
Yep, yep. It's goblins are tiny, right? It's actually an average size wolf, but the goblins are just so small.
Fair, fair. That's true.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but it reminds me of the goblin riders from Lord of the Rings, the ones that ride on a warg,
Hmm.
and like one will have a bow, and one will be holding the reins. It reminds me of that, but obviously on a larger scale.
Yeah, these are all spear. I wonder if there'll be a like a shooting variant mixed in somehow.
I hope there is. It would be very cool. It would just make sense thematically if there's a goblin with a bow and a goblin with a spear.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But hey, we'll see. We'll find out when we
Yeah,
find out.
we'll find out. Hmm.
And then Chariots returning.
Yep,
Wolf
those are
Chariots.
phenomenal.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Hmm.
Like, it's. And I'm excited for this because one, it's gonna look great in Sigmar, and two, I'm gonna see these in Old World too, and it's gonna be just as great looking.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, this is perfect for the old world release as well. I didn't even consider that, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see it across all the games. So
And I love the sun motifs that are all across the army, because it's in such stark contrast to the oh my goodness, the other Gloomspite gets the night goblins.
Night Goblins,
The
yeah.
what are they called? Moonclan, Moonclan.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
So it's such a stark contrast to Moonclan, which obviously have a lot of moon motifs and cloaks and kind of being hooded, and these guys are out in the sun with sun motifs. So I love
Yeah,
that.
that's true. It looks really good. It's a nice little contrast. You're right.
Yep.
All right, and of course, we're getting the Gloomspite Gets book in all its
Yep.
various forms. Great looking cover. I'm I'm pleased that we see a limited edition cover that doesn't have a character on it or like
Yeah.
a actual person. I like the
Sure.
symbol. Like that's a nice different thing that we've seen from the normal ones. I do like epic characters on my covers. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice to see it mixed up on occasion. This makes sense.
Yeah, what I'm going to be interested in is where is their place in the general goblin hierarchy? Because like, do they kind of follow the Skragrot, or is Skragrot more of like a Moonclan guy now? Because he obviously looks very
Hmm.
Moonclan,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so I don't know.
that'd be interesting because they could be more nomadic and just don't follow the bad moon because they're chasing the sun.
That's exactly right. So, and in the rules and the lore, everybody from the Gunspat gets kind of worships the moon, even the trolls, right?
Yeah,
Even the Troggoths, because they'll get benefits, and Spider Riders worship it. But these guys kind of are the opposite, right? I mean, they're kind of more sun guys. They're chasing the sun. They're out in the sun. So I
What
do
if
wonder.
what if they had bonuses when they were not in the moon? Like you still have the moon mechanic, but they had bonuses not in the moon.
That would be so cool,
Yeah, so like
Chuck.
you have like a
I
couple
think they
unit.
might do that.
I hope so. That'd be super sick because yeah, like
That would be so
because
cool.
then it makes a harder choice for the Gits player. Like when that moon's in the middle, you're like, which unit does Scragrot move it to help a unit
Right.
or not?
Maybe. Oh my goodness, that makes so much sense. Yes, because the moon could be shining on the other side, and then you have your. Yeah, that makes. Wow. I think if they do that, I think you're spot on.
I think I hope so. And if not,
Yeah.
GW that's free. Just rewrite the whole battle tome in the next minute. You're good.
It hasn't been released yet, so
No, yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah,
And most
that's cool,
importantly, Doom Diver Catapult with what a
bro.
glow up. Holy cow.
What a glow up! It's like it's the Doom Diver catapult of old is a speck in the dust compared to this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like this thing is just the beast of burden below it. I love that they're just like the one like he's getting ready to fly. He has like his little cape on. He's like trying it out,
Yep.
flapping his wings.
Yep, yep. It's mobile. It's huge. It has the sun motifs, right? So
Yep.
in the past, it was more of a, just like a regular artillery piece, cool looking but regular. But now it's definitely much more part of a Git mob. So no, it's great.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, once again, you'll see this across Sigmar and Old World, and I can't wait to see it in both game systems. It's just
Yep.
phenomenal.
I love a little snuttling we have with a hammer. I don't think we've seen many snotlings. There are
No.
some,
Yeah.
right? We've seen some with some of the shamans
Yep.
in the Gloomspite Gits,
Yeah,
but not
Pokrot. Yep.
many. So I'm right. But I'm glad that we're having more and more little, like
Yeah,
semi goblins or
it,
snotlings.
it adds more fun. It's like the little nurgling
Hmm.
thing.
Yep,
And
I love it.
I do like that there's different versions. You can have it the Doom Diver mid throw or right before it throws. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
realize there's
I like that.
options on that.
Hmm.
And then yeah, even more Grom the Paunchy. We have a
Yep,
fat goblin on a war chariot.
yep.
Fazil legit shaman? No, wait. Oh
Is it
no, that's
shaman?
sorry. No.
I
Yeah.
think the shaman is one later.
Oh, shaman's one later.
But
Oh, there he is. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
That's very
Uh,
Mad Max. But yeah, these two are just oh my god, amazing.
Yeah, so I'm guessing we have an option for like a war boss or git boss, maybe they'll call him, not loon boss.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we have a shaman option, which I do love the Mad Max look. He's like on the top of the thing, yelling.
Yep. Just
That's really cool.
all in all, this is just amazing.
Yeah,
Of
yeah, I think it's
course,
a great release. It's a great new army to start. You don't even, I'm guessing you could do a whole army with just these bad boys.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, and it's all gonna be fast. It's all gonna be cavalry. They haven't had any troop choices, so it's cool.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see this release. Even though it's not my type of play, but man, I can't wait for you, Alex, to get this and paint this.
Yes, that will happen very soon.
Very soon, yeah.
Yep.
Um, all right. Well, we get to move on now to a little Arvis Lighter Lands. So a
All
little horse
right.
heresy going on,
Mm-hmm.
which I have a heresy army. I don't play it a ton, but I like the return. This is a very cool. I think this was a Forge World sculpt back in the day.
Okay.
This little transport thing.
Hmm.
I've seen it more used as terrain than actual games.
Okay.
Like it's just like on a
Okay.
landing pad or something, kind of cool.
Sure.
Yeah, glad to see it. I assume it's coming back in plastic. Probably what this says. Um, very cool to
Yeah,
see.
it's neat looking. I like it.
Yep, more tanks. To be fair, we've seen lots of tanks. Horse heresy, so I don't even know what they do anymore.
Yep. No idea. Looks like a long tank.
Just a flamer tank. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Ah, it's a flamer tank. That's dope.
Now, there's also the Derideo or Dorito Dreadnought coming back with options galore, which he's one of those ones I never picked up. But if he's coming back in plastic, I might add one to my Dark Angels force.
Sure. Why not? It's pretty neat looking.
Yeah, I like the Las Cannon version just because it just looks cooler to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, yeah, super super cool. And what is that? Nope. Okay. Um, yeah, very cool, very simple. We're not the biggest horse heresy channel, so
No,
we think it's cool. We move on from
it's
there.
cool. It's cool. It's fun. It's thematic. Moving on.
Next up, we're gonna do some books.
I bet you're excited.
There's one specific one I'm very excited for. It's right here at the top, Shade of Cain, because
That's
I am
right.
so bummed, and I felt so cheated that they got rid of
Spoilers. Spoilers.
spoilers. Yep,
Say that. Yep.
spoilers, spoilers. So if you're reading the Gotrek series, spoilers. If you've
Yep.
not gotten past the Ideneth one,
Past book 3. Yep.
Soul Slayer, I think.
Hmm.
Malineth appears to have sacrificed herself to save Gotrek. We never see her dead, so we don't know if it's dead. Granted, this book
Yep.
is a prequel,
Right.
so it's before she even meets Gotrek. But seeing her grow as a character, as it was a perfect foil for a character like Gotrek, who's very old school, how
Right.
she's adapted. I thought she was probably one of the best companions Gotrek has ever had. Not the best, not for sure, but I thought she was perfect for the Mortal Realms.
Yes.
I've said before, I'm not a fan of the current one because she hasn't grown on me yet. But hopefully, this is because people like me and many out there were like, "Nah, Maleth was so cool. Give us more of her."
Right.
So we'll see some of her
Right.
backstory.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go buy this up. Maybe I'll buy one and give it away, just to help the sales on this because if we show that we like it, we'll get more of it, and maybe they'll resurrect the character. Not resurrect, but like, oh, she didn't die. She's here
Didn't
now. She's just not
die.
with
Right.
Gotrek. Yeah.
They
I,
left their options very open. Right. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to her. And I want you to read that book. Obviously, I've been listening to all the Gotrek books,
yep.
and I'm interested for you to tell me if it's a good book for somebody who does not really care about Cain or Daughters of Cain. And if you think so, I would also like to read it.
Yeah, I'd be I'd be curious too because it kind of reminds me of the Ulrika from the Old World
Okay.
version,
Okay.
where she was a character that followed Gotrek and Felix for a long time, and then she got her
Mm.
own offshoot trilogy, which was very fascinating.
Ah,
But like, I was in love with the character, so I wanted to know more about her.
sure. Yeah.
She weaved in and out, so it was a very different story. But yeah, I definitely will. There might
Yeah.
be a full episode review on this book.
I'd be interested. I'd be interested in hearing your opinion on it.
Speaking of which, Gotrek and Malnith, the omnibus, which this is
Hmm.
great. This has all the books with these two characters in it. So like when Gotrek first came into the Mortal Realms, and it also includes this little short story I picked up. It was like one of those like little novellas that you sold, called The Bone Desert, and it really,
Oh.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's a very short. It's like a maybe hour and a half read. Um,
Okay. Huh.
but it shows a lot more of these two characters and the growth, and it shows Gotrek being vulnerable,
Mm,
like
that's cool.
him finally come like I don't know where I'm at and I don't like it. I need help. There's a moment like
That's
that,
cool.
and that's what really solidified me their characters because they're opposing views, but they work, and that's why I thought they worked so well as a good character together. But
Yeah. Yeah. I really like the contrast of them, and the fact that like, it's so interesting because and obviously a lot of spoilers. Like they, he almost doesn't consider them friends, but they definitely care for each other, and he's definitely like
They were
brokenhearted over her disappearance or
yeah,
passing.
they were growing on each other, much like Felix did with Gotrek.
Sure.
It wasn't ever gonna be that same because like, but yeah, I thought it was the perfect foil. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
plus also Gotrek having elf characters feels better because they're a little bit more long lived. You can play with that time more because
Ah, yes.
what if fifth
Yes.
edition comes out in 3 years and we have like a 100-year time jump? Yeah, Gotrek can be
Right.
alive, but that human can't. So you're gonna
Right.
kill her off and get a new
Exactly.
one? Like, nah, give me consistency. But anyway,
Right. Right.
I hope
Yeah, and
Malnet
the fact they haven't killed her, I think, is a sign that at some point she's gonna come back.
they left it open so they had
Very
that
open.
option. So hopefully,
Hmm.
but yeah, Gotrek, amazing series. Go read them all, even the old world ones. Then we got some more 40K books. So Hell's Last. I know Minka Lesk. She's a model. She's a really cool Cadian character. A lot of guard people are big fans of her, so nice seeing her get her own book again. I think it's probably her
Hmm.
third or fourth, maybe. So
Yep.
that's
I've
always
seen her around. Not very familiar, but
yeah.
looks cool.
I've not read any of her books either, but I know she's well loved. Silent King. I don't do Necrons,
Yep. Me
but hey,
neither.
cool. If you like Necrons, there you go.
The cover
And
looks dope.
Art of 40K. Always love me a
Ah.
good art book.
Hmm.
So that might be a we'll see what the price is on that, but that might be a good pickup. That's always a good coffee table read.
Yeah.
And then Red Tithe, uh, Carcharodon, so space sharks, space.
Very interesting.
They're well loved. It's weird, but
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
I see those come back. So
Yeah.
books, but yeah, it's to me, it's all about Malneth here. Boom.
Right. Right.
All right, and
Very good.
one more.
It's a big one.
It is a big one. Eldari Phoenix Lords. Holy cow!
That's right.
So not
I'm
just
not an
Phoenix.
Eldari guy. I think the sculpts look beautiful, but you have to tell me what they are.
All right, so I'm an Eldari guy. So we have
Yes.
new fire dragons, which is like they do
Mm,
like flamers and meltas. Um,
makes sense.
so they choose that aspect because the Eldari they choose like an aspect to go into and they devote their life to it, and then they can switch
Right.
left and right after like they spend like millennia in it.
Sure.
So new sculpts for these guys, finally in plastic. Azurman, the first of the Dire Avengers. I think he's kind of like the not the king Phoenix Lord, but he's like the biggest. Like he's like the whoa. This guy came back.
Sure.
Stuff's about to
Big
happen.
hero.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he has a banner of himself in the background.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm awesome. So you should see me. You should
Yeah.
see me twice.
Yeah. You just see me twice. He's super cool. And like I said, the thing is too, like it says here too, like the Ranandandra, which that's if you know old world lore, that's the end of times for the elves. It's always
Mm,
prophesized. So if all the Phoenix
mm,
Lords come together, that's when it's supposed to happen.
mm.
And we're getting them all back, so I don't know. We'll see.
See what
Um,
happens.
yeah, Azurman's back. Baharoth. Um, he's the what I forget what they're called. The winged ones. I don't want to call them. What are they? I forget what they are. But anyway, I forget what the subculture is of them. But
Sure.
I love that sculpt.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is like the paint job. Everything on it is peak. Um, and I like that his gun has a banner because he's like, I have no place else to put it.
My banner
Oh,
shoots.
swooping hawks, because we get more swooping
Mm.
hawks now. They get those in new sculpts here too, which once again gorgeous.
Yep, very pretty models.
And then we have Lycus, essentially the Phoenix Lord of the Webway. He's
Yeah,
Spider Man.
he
He's
looks.
he's Spider Manning it.
He is one of my favorite models of this release. I love everything about it. The way he's like floating and the stones are breaking apart. It's cool.
Yeah, well he's I mean warp spiders go into the webway, jump in and out. That's how they teleport around. But I love
Mm,
like the like that's I love that his webway is actually looking like a web, like he's popping out of.
yeah,
He's got the extra arms. He's got the extra eyes. He's got the mandibles. Like it's all just pure spider. It's so cool.
yeah, that's very very cool.
And then of course he gets his boys too and girls. New warp spiders coming in hot, just to teleport all around.
Hmm.
But yeah, absolutely amazing. I think we're still missing one Phoenix Lord.
One Phoenix Lord. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's still one Phoenix Lord. I've drawn a blank on it. Let me know in the chat below. Sorry, but yeah, I think there's still one missing in plastic.
Hmm.
I forget which one it is. Anyway, yeah, but still, and a new Eldari book. So I'm excited because I have Eldari for 40K.
Right.
So I will buy this. I will most likely buy this book. So
Yep, makes perfect sense. I love that on the cover art he's standing on a Emperor's Children.
Yes, because they hate Slanesh. Yep.
Sanesh, yep, makes it's this little touch that brings it all together.
Yep. Perfect. Well,
Good.
that is all the
Wow.
reveals from. I mean, we're like weeks behind, so no one's gonna care. But
Unless you've been out of the hobby for some reason.
hey, if you want to know what we think of these models, they're pretty cool. So
Oh my god, sometimes they have those big releases and they'll kind of skimp on some of them. There's good, maybe throw a little bit in the old world, maybe throw a little bit in AOS, and then put a lot in 40k and 30k. Not this release, man.
yeah, I if
Everybody's eating.
yeah, it's because usually you get LVO and it's a big 40 or no, LVO is usually a big Sigmar release,
Hmm.
and Adepticon's usually a big 40k release.
That's right.
And Nova's kind of like a weird split, but yeah, I was like when they announced the preview show for it. Sorry, excuse me. I wasn't expecting this amount of reveals for the championships, but hey,
Yeah,
great. Feels good to be seeing stuff like that.
it feels good to be a nerd,
It does. It
a
does.
Warhammer nerd.
Perfect. All right. Well, with that, Alex, one last question for you before we head off, and I
That's
pass it
right.
over to myself and Neil. Any hobby lately?
Yes,
Ooh, what is it?
I've. It's not what you think,
Okay. Okay.
but I've read one Warhammer book.
Ah, did you finish it?
I've read two Warhammer books. I've almost finished three Warhammer books since last time we talked right here.
Oh, you're
So
so
just a little bit
close.
left.
So close.
Man, this was such a fun. Like I literally started reading this a week and a half ago.
Nice.
Wait, yes, week and a half ago. Almost 2 weeks. But this has been such a fun series to read. Like literally yesterday, I went to the gym planning to work out. I'm like, I'm gonna warm up on a treadmill. Read a book while I was on the treadmill. Spent an hour and a half on the treadmill,
Oh, but
just reading the book. Just
how
I made my way through almost all of the third book.
how to trick meatheads into cardio? Warhammer books.
Honestly, bro,
Yeah, why not?
it's a good time. But yeah, it's an old Hammer book. The first book was released in 1989, I think. Obviously, these are reprints from that time,
Yeah,
but they're not in production anymore. It's a Conrad series. It's just a fun book to read. Um, it feels very old school, and
nice.
I'm excited to read more Warhammer books after this.
Okay, okay. I
Yeah,
got plenty of recommendations
good,
and stuff for you to borrow because I read it. So
excellent.
actually, I should go look into picking up the Malice Darkblade because I have not read that yet. So that might
There you go.
be what I search for after I go shovel and such. But Alex, it was
Good
nice
man.
to finally have a podcast again and get to catch up.
Always.
Well,
Hope you feel better soon.
thank you. As like I said, it sounds worse than what it is. It's more of an annoyance.
Sure,
But
sure.
with that though, we will pass it over to me and Neo, where I'm going to talk all about the grand narrative, and he's going to ask questions along the way. We'll enjoy a ride. So
Enjoy it.
take care. And Strength Hammer is back, this time with a more clean shaven co host in Neil with that lovely head, and a more clean shaven host, me, because I actually shaved my beard
Look
between recording with Alex this morning to this afternoon.
at that. Steaks.
I'm
Got to
fight
that long road during the winter.
yeah, I'm fighting back against the end of this con crud I picked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be clean cut, I'm gonna shave, get rid of the neck beard. We're gonna be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But Neil, hasn't been a while because we just talked Tale of Four Warlords, wrap that up. But it's been a
Mm-hmm.
while for the podcast. So how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's fun. Tale 4 Warlords, getting that in the other day. That finished up. Uh, Big news from the hobby front. I just received my new Saturn 4 Ultra today in the mail.
Amazing.
Another 3D printer here, so we'll have some fun with that here in a little bit. But got to figure out how to vent it out of the basement. But once that is accomplished, then we'll be good to go.
By Christmas time, Neil's going to be sitting there with rum and cocoa, or or whiskey and coffee, whatever he prefers. Just a 3D printing machine. We will see him barely. He'll be bleary eyed, hungover, and in the same clothes every week for the rest of the month.
Well, unfortunately, the tent that helps with the ventilation and traps all the nasties. That's not coming till Christmas, so my printer still will not be in operation, unfortunately, until then. But hopefully, I have everything else set and ready to go.
Okay.
So, but anyway, this printer, it prints twice as fast as what my old one did, so we should expect twice as many models.
That's amazing. And truth be told, the most important part of this holiday season is from Christmas to New Year's, when nothing happens. Everyone pretends like we do our jobs. Everyone pretends like we do everything. We don't.
Mm.
We sit at
I
home
wish
and we eat and drink
I wish
and maybe go to
I
the
wish
gym.
working in a hospital system I could say the same.
I know.
But unfortunately, I am off on Christmas Day and will be working and doing my regular scheduling program every other day of the week.
But your printer will be doing Sigmar's work.
It will be doing Sigmar's work. Yes.
That's good. That's good. Well, it's nice to be back here on the podcast with you, just chatting away, having tea and some beverages.
Mhm.
I do have to ask. I asked Alex. It's a little different this time. We're gonna keep it the same segment, even though it changes. But how's your lawn?
My lawn is covered with 8 inches of snow,
That's
and so is my
amazing.
driveway. And so we shoveled it off. It was not enough. I will not pull out the snow blower unless there is so much snow that it is approaching impossible to get my vehicles out of the driveway. So it's shovel unless there's like 12 inches of snow out there. And so when I went out to do it, there's maybe 4 or 5, and so it was shovel time. So
Well, you're like 2 years away from your boy needing money to take out his girl. So that snowblower is just staying in vacation mode. I mean, he's gonna just start shoveling because you can't make it easy on him.
that boy is not gonna ask for anything ever other than V-Bucks for Fortnite. Let's be honest. So
I listen. We thought that about Warhammer and all of our stuff until
that's true.
until a
That's true.
very certain age and things start
Yeah,
happening.
that's true. Actually, about 15, yeah, 14, 15.
Yeah, which you're gonna be that what's like? I think it's the Folgers commercial. It's the kids outside struggling to shovel the snow and it's just dumping on them. And like
Mhm.
the dad's inside and the mom's there and they're just watching and he's like, "Ooh, coffee's hot," as they're freezing. That's gonna be you and it's gonna be great. And
Oh my God, I can't wait. Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah,
yeah, that'll be.
great commercial.
I'll send you that commercial if you've never seen it.
Mhm.
But okay, yeah, my lawn update from this morning from recording with Alex is my driveway, sidewalks, and my neighbor's sidewalks are completely shoveled and salted. So they're good to go.
Shoot.
So yeah, I got them covered. They're old neighbors, but they were great neighbors. So they're selling the house. So I want to make sure someone that comes into it knows they're coming into a nice place. Because if they're pieces of shit, I will let them know very quickly. That's all right. Nah, it's fine. It probably won't sell till after Christmas. So
Mhm.
that is the housing market update as well. All right. Well, I mean, we just talked a lot of hobby recently. If you watched Tale of Four Warlords, Neil, but any other hobby outside of your Tale of Four Warlords stuff going on?
Ooh, outside of that, no. It might be my daughter and I pulled out a little snow day hero quest, so we were playing through
Ooh,
that today.
that's
It was a
fun.
lot of fun. My wife is going to be Zargon from here on out, so we're going to train her up. But I got a little dwarf 3D print that I gotta paint him up because most of my hero quest is painted, so you
Nice.
can't have a non-painted bro running around there. So we're gonna play another quest tonight, and then they started watching a movie instead. So that at least bought me some time to get this guy painted before I get him on the board.
There you go. Is the season. The wife wants to watch some holiday movies as well, and I won't lie,
Uh,
I want to.
oh my God, my parents have been living with me, and I have a father who's a shop teacher and a Navy man. Um, Hands like a mallet, and boy, does he love himself some Hallmark Christmas movies. Wish so Hallmark, if you'd like to sponsor the show, just know you got a big fan of my gruff, 100% Italian father. So
I cannot deny, I enjoy myself some Hallmark movies on occasion. I need the basics. I need the Charlie Brown Christmas special,
Mhm.
Grinch Who Stole Christmas. To be fair, I'm not a big Nightmare Before Christmas guy. I've not watched it a ton. I
I've never
don't ha-
seen it.
don't hate it. I've seen it like twice.
Never seen it. It was after my time.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of like just after me, but like Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like all that old claymation stuff. Love that.
yeah, love it. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer used to be my favorite Christmas movie of all time. I
I
just watched Home Alone again for the first time in a long time. I mean,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
25 years since I watched Home Alone.
that's
It's a
true.
banger.
That's been a while. I should pull that back out.
Really should, yeah.
Oh, my hobby. Ugh. So I mean, we're still doing some GW stuff. because we have some stuff left over. We didn't get done in time for Grand Narrative, so with the crew that is going on. I just got some paint going on this bad boy right here.
Look at that.
So it's a dwarf shield bearer, and I have the white dwarf Age of Sigmar model with the. I just put a banner in his hand, so he's going to be a BSB for my dwarf army on shield bearer.
Now, is that axe supposed to be up there? Or did you...
No, that's his axe. So I cut off his hand, which was holding the axe.
Well, it looks awesome.
I put the top of the axe up there because it just felt right.
It looks badass. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so like he can still kill people with it. It's all good.
Sure, yeah. From far away too.
So I'll be painting that probably tomorrow, maybe Saturday. If I can stop this from shaking. I have a backlog, Neil.
Oh, look at that.
You ready for it? It's not big yet. It's not big. I was so enamored by our topic today, the grand narrative, when we get to it, where I was playing a Votann character and organizing the Votann crew of the grand narrative, that when you dive into lore and you just personify a character, you know what happens, Neil. Like you've listened to Garage Hammer. What happens when you listen to a Garage Hammer? Ooh, I should just start that army, right?
Yep.
There we go.
There it is. A little blurry.
It's Votann. It's yeah, I got the Votann Combat Patrol start my army, and then I picked up the Hearthkin Yager, which is essentially what my character was at the Grand Narrative. He was one of these. The kill team for it to go with it as a part of the army, not so much kill team. I already have a kill team, but it's about 500 points of an army right there. So, plan to get to at least 1,000. Maybe eventually 2,000, because I might go to Nova Open this coming year, 2025, and play in the 40K Grand Narrative. And I might take them, so.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like a good little project to build up.
Yeah,
your auxiliary army. I mean, Votann, whatever you want to call it.
If you're an elf army, I own you in every game system of GW. If you're a dwarf army, I own you in every game system except for Votann. Now I own them. I can truly say I'm an elf friend and a dwarf friend through and through. And I have so that the shield bearer kit comes with extra guys, one on foot, and then technically the guy that should be on the shield itself. Those are with the Votann, because I'm going to use them as kit bashes into the Votann army to bring more of that classic dwarf aesthetic into that army. But,
nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So the reason I'm not buying more for it right now, because I literally bought that at the Grand Narrative, because I'm obsessed now. I'm also doing the Ho Ho Hobby Vices again this year, so that Secret Santa that goes around.
Love it.
Yeah, it's always been phenomenal to send out and also to receive. I don't know if the person sending what they're sending me this year. Last year they blew me out of the water. Like custom Taylor Swift like high elf merchandise and high elf, just it was phenomenal. So we'll see what happens this year, but Votann is a possibility of receiving, so I didn't want to buy more until I maybe got that gift in exchange. We'll see what happens. But this is a long-term project, so not necessary.
Very nice. You got to buy that Ninja Turtle battle wagon, whatever the hell that thing is.
Yeah, I'm buying the Land Raider for sure. That's actually that's sitting in the cart right now, because like it's the next time I purchase it, I'm buying that thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's so cool. But yeah, that's hobby for me lately. So pretty relaxed, pretty robust. Just because I feel like it, and it's because that's what my Instagram is. I picked up a new retro game device for all the video game fans out there. Took it with me on the trip. So this little guy right here, it's on sale for like $50. It's from Ambernick.
Ooh, look at that.
It's a little emulation device. Looks like an SP. So comes with some games, but you should put your own games on it. I don't advocate stealing games, but I advocate emulation. Actually, I advocate piracy. I don't care. Because that's what I'm doing. But yeah, if you need a little gift for a little loved one for $50, this thing is phenomenal. Ambernick SP, essentially. Anyway.
Yeah, those games are so freaking old at this point, you know.
This little thing can play 64, PS1,
60.
Sega Dreamcast, most 64. There's a few things where it gets a little choppy. Honestly, PSP's where it gets the most choppy.
Interesting.
But it's phenomenal what a little device like this can do now,
Yeah.
especially for $50.
Oh, so cool. Yeah.
Um, but besides all that, back to Warhammer. So Neil, tonight we got a couple topics to go through. One, we got a Grotmas calendar going on here with the Warhammer community.
Hmm.
So we've seen some 40K detachments, and also it's like they suddenly remembered Age of Sigmar existed and said, "Hey, here is some regiments of renown that are very universal. Like here's a chaos, here's Nurglings that go into almost any army. It's pretty crazy." So we're talking about those, and then I'll talk about my time at the Grand Narrative for a nice, easy conversation tonight. So, Neil, you ready to look at some of this Grotmas calendar stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let me bring it up here on my end. So let's start with the 40K end. And we're not going to go like super detail on these, everybody. Like, it's out there. You can read it yourself. You're all smart enough to understand what's going on. But I'm a big fan of advent calendars. Every year, I get the one with the crappy chocolate for me and my wife, and we go to town. If I remember, I feel like splurging. I always get like the K cup coffee ones. You ever see those?
Cup coffee ones? No, I have not.
Yeah. So if you have Keurig, there's those K cups. I have a Keurig
Yeah.
now that does K cups and ground coffee. It's amazing because I'd rather do ground coffee, but sometimes if you need that quick fix, it's nice to have a K cup ready to go.
Yeah.
But there's K cup advent calendars where you open it up and each one's a different coffee brand and different coffee flavor. So I'll sometimes buy that for me and the wife, and if it's flavored, she gets it, and if it's not flavored, I get it.
There you go. Yeah, you don't want any flavor in your coffee. That's gross.
Yeah, it's fine. It's funny because the one I did one last year, and I opened it up. It was like the 14th day. I opened up. It was just McDonald's coffee, which I don't hate, but I was just like,
Listen, coffee should taste bitter and empty of anything else like life. So
listen, listen, coffee and cream. That's all I need. I don't do any sugar in mine.
I think it was Jerry Seinfeld who said coffee is the only thing that is on your side all the time.
Coffee's like lifting weights. It's just truth. Doesn't beat around the bush. It's like this is what I am.
Right.
Love you need me. I'm like okay. All right. So what I like about this is every day, for the 40K one, they're opening another thing in the advent calendar. It's an article, and there's detachments which just give you a different way to play your army. Like conceptually, I love this. Like I don't know how to say this any other way. I don't care if they're good. I don't care if they're competitive. I care that they exist, and it gives me a unique way to play this game.
Yeah.
Uh, like the only one that's out right now at the time of recording this on the 5th was Dark Angels. I'm a Dark Angel player. My goodness, what this gave Dark Angel players was amazing. Like I don't know if it should be considered illegal for tournament play, but for non-tournament play, absolutely, because it gives us something that was missing with what we have, which is unifying a couple parts of our army together in a way that makes sense in the narrative, like very narrative focused, but it's still strong and powerful.
Yeah. And whether it's competitive or whether it's not, I think it's a nice thing to have. I mean, it's Christmas time. We're playing games. We're having fun. Whatever. It's the guys who aren't playing this competitively could get something every now and then as well. I mean, it probably does it stick around? Probably not. But at least it also gives them an idea of like, okay, well, we can try this thing, and maybe it's too powerful. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just right. Maybe we want to keep this thing around. Maybe we want to write this into a future army book or something like that, so they can play around with the rules and, kind of see what works, what doesn't work, and not have to make it official. And if you don't like it, right, if you don't like any of them, don't put them in your match play, tournament pack. So,
Yeah, like if it's at a local club, why not? And to be fair too, if it's overpowered and you're at a local club, let someone run it against you if you're a competitive person. See if you can beat it.
yeah,
Like I'm just a fan of having a reason to come back to the Warhammer community site every single day this month. That's the most exciting part about this. I wish this was alternating between 40K and Sigmar and Old World potentially, but this is focused on 40K, which is fine. It's all good. 'Cause thankfully I'm agnostic, play all the games, but like I'm hoping we open one of these and it's a scenario. They gave us one scenario already for the red gobo type thing, but like give me just a random 40k or Sigmar scenario in here. Like, hey, you need to get the Christmas presents from the tree. Put down like a Christmas tree type decoration, and you have to go loot presents from it. That like literally, that's all I want.
Yeah,
I don't want to play serious games right now. That like the season's over. Sorry. Like,
right.
well, it's not over. LVO is the ending of it, but like, it's a time for fun and merriment. Let's have some fun and merriment. And like I said, I think
Right.
this is great.
Yeah. Let's have some Christmas ale and some dice.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, that cough snuck up on me there. I apologize, everybody. I try to mute. I'm very bad at it, so please forgive that. Um, and like Neil, I know whenever the Tau one comes out, I'm gonna send it to you because you're gonna think it's cool. You know, you might not play really that much anymore, but you're like you have Tau, you think it's cool.
No, I haven't even touched Tau in 10th edition. So
That's fine. I'm looking forward for the Eldari one. I'm hoping there's a Yanari one specific, but that's beside the point. Anyway, out of nowhere, they're like, oh yeah, Age of Sigmar exists. Let's give them something for Grotmus in the form of a bunch of regiments renowned. They could have teased these out. They could have given me one a day, and I would have been just as happy, Neil.
mhm.
But no, they're just like, here, boom, all at once. So,
Yeah.
not to go like super deep on this, like Warhammer Weekly did a great viewpoint on this from a competitive standpoint. If you are looking at this from a competitive standpoint, you can just close this article right now. It's not great because it makes you at least a 3-drop, all that other happy horse shit that isn't what I'm about for this game. Neil, I don't think you're about that either.
Mm.
So what we got here is some universal, like I guess we could call them gold faction because we got to use that Magic the Gathering reference. Gold faction Regiment of Renowns. So we have some Ozark Bone Reapers that fit in cities, daughters, Feck, Fire Slayers, Gloomspite, Caradron, Cruel Boys, Ogres, Skaven, Sunsby Helmet, and Soulblight Gravelords. And they wrote lore as to why that happens. Like a little bit, not a ton. Like, and there's points for all this too, by the way, in the article. Like if you look at the article that's on screen right now, download the Regiments Around, and then download the battle points profiles. I just went to what's I love PDF.com and took these PDFs and put them together because I don't know why they were separated. Because
Good point.
these Regiments Around are not surviving long; they're just here for fun, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, there's points for it too. So yeah, there's but like there's a Feck one that fits in like and like they're just branching out. It's like here's an army unit. Sure, it's not going to be nearly as good, but it can have some flavor, have some fun. If you're on a tight budget, I would say if you have these models in a separate army, play this. Or if you want a fun, creative, month-long sort of hobby type thing, pick up a few of these models and add them to the army you want to bring them with. You might get a couple months of play with it in a local club with some fun. I doubt these are going to be surviving more than like past February, if I'm honest. Like people just forget about them.
Mhm.
But because like yeah, look at like the one I would love to add just from like the lore point. Like I'd love to write the lore around this is the Lost Song Spirits. So we got Tree Lord and 2 units of 5 Spite Revenants. I would definitely add this to my Ideneth army because like that sea and tree type flavor they used to have in 2nd edition for like a one of their battalions can kind of bring
Mhm.
that back. Even though there's nothing like Tree Lord's awful. Spite Revenants in 5, awful. But it's cool. And that's what I love it. I love it because it's cool. I don't love it because it's good. And there's one I'm tempted about here. Well, actually 2. One's the Stumblefoot Gargant, just to add a Gargant. It's 1 Man Crusher Gargant, 1 baby giant, Neil. Add it to any army you want. He projectile vomits, he mocks people, and he goes, "What are you looking at?" It's just adding a giant to an army. Like that's so old world. It's just a giant that shows up and says, "Yeah, I'll fight for you. Whatever. Just give me alcohol, and I might throw up though."
I love the Ogroids. I've always loved these guys in general. Like the Thermiters when he came out at first, like I had a
Oh yeah.
great time painting that guy up, and it's just a sweet model. And I love the new ones that came out too for Slaves of Darkness. So I like seeing them all together. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and they're all for like a destruction, which is kind of
Hmm.
neat, like the way they've
Hmm.
written that lore. Um, Outside the Man Crusher Gargant, the other one I like is the Nurgling's Nest or Nurgling's Gift. Sorry, because I just want Daughters of Cain that die, and all of a sudden here's 3 units of Nurglings. You're still stuck here. I'm gonna charge you with this other unit and kill you. It's just fun. That's all it is. But Neil, any favorites outside the Ogroids for you?
I like the Ogroids really. I mean, I'm not seeing anything else that's really picking my interest too much. Of course, I could pick apart the Caradron one for sure, but
Well, the
I don't
Caradron one I could see being okay with some of the armies just because it adds speed that's not there.
I don't know, man. I am going to be attending my first Age of Sigmar 4 tournament, which is going to be Brewhammer
Mm-hmm.
in early February, and so I am excited to try and get back in and see what I can do with fourth edition. But it will not be with Caradron Overlords. Not
That's fair.
happening.
I'm excited. I have my ticket money sent into that as well. I'm not excited that my uh, chief revenue officer decided to make a in-person event in Dallas for my company that I fly back that Friday.
Oh boy.
Not that I'm unwilling to do it. It's just it makes the wife unhappy because I'm going to be closer to Columbus when I land. So it's very tempting to just leave from Columbus to go, or leave from Pittsburgh to go right to Columbus.
I was gonna say just fly into Columbus and just bring your stuff with you.
I've never flown into Columbus, but the thing is, my car will be in Pittsburgh.
Hmm. Depending on when you fly in, I might be able to pick you up. But anyway,
Well, someone still needs to get me to Pittsburgh. Then that's the problem. So we need to see if Matt's coming or not. That's the question. Anyway, we'll figure it out. It's just more. It's instead of 4 days away from home, it turns into 6. So it's like okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that tournament too. But I don't know. Maybe I'll bring the Stumblefoot Gargant if they allow it. We'll see. I'll bug them later if I feel like it. But that is that for some little bit of side news. I'm excited for those sort of things. If you're looking at them and like, oh, they suck and I can't win for that, they're not for you. That's all I'm gonna say, and that's fine. If you don't care about them because you're worried about winning the game more than anything else, you've accepted who you are as a person, and you're in a different group of people how you enjoy this game. Perfectly fine. I like fun and enjoyment, especially if you look at my Spotify Wrapped, which is mostly pop singers. So, with that in mind, I enjoy having a good time. If you enjoy having a good time, let us know in the comments down below. And if you don't, also let us know in the comments below. I don't know. All right. Neil, any other thoughts on that before we move on to the next topic?
No,
As I keep
no.
hitting this table, I'm sorry everybody if you see my camera rocking. I'm moving. I'm not used to sitting still for while we record. All right, so let's then bring up Neil. I got to work at one of the best, most Warhammer events in the world recently. Did you know that?
Hmm. I always curious to see how this goes and hear about this every time you do it. So
It's great. So the Grand Narrative 40K in Atlanta, Georgia. So little recap of my event. And there's pictures on the screen, so if you're a podcast listener, so I apologize, but I got to be Katma the Intrepid, opportunistic and inquisitive Yager Votan, essentially. So I'm all about profit, all about the kin. Neil, did you ever watch Peaky Blinders?
no, I've heard of it, but I've never actually seen it.
You've seen probably clips of the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Think of that if he was a dwarf. So if you're not part of my crew, essentially, if you're not Votan, you get glares, and that's about it. And like just pure laconic statements. If you're Votan, we're connecting. We're going deep. So that's what I got to be for this. So it was a super fun time. So you'll see my costume here as we go on. But to begin, these are just every picture I took. So if you were on my Instagram stories, you've already seen these. I apologize. But so at the airport, nice and early. I say nice and early. I think it was like 10 a.m. It actually wasn't an early flight. I usually fly American. This is the only time of the year that I fly Delta because I've reached a point in my life, Neil. If I have to fly for any job, it better be a direct flight. I've reached that old man status. I want one
Yeah.
flight and done. I don't care what time it is. It could be 2:30 in the morning. I will be there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the preference for sure, but especially with kids. But unfortunately, with kids, it's what's the cheapest way to get there. So
That's fair.
I cannot have such bold statements.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, anyway, on the flight, I got my little amber neck I talked about earlier. Because I fly American usually, I can just open up the webpage for American Airlines in flight and watch some documentary because that's what I love to do on flights. I like to watch documentaries. Usually someone climbing a mountain I'll never climb. But for this, you need to have a Paramount Plus account, which is like I don't want to do that. I don't do that. Thankfully, messaging was free, so I was able to essentially message my wife on Discord throughout the flight. And I pulled out my little amber neck and just played some, as you can see on the screen here, Animal Crossing while having some delicious coffee.
Nice.
It was a great flight, and it's only like an hour flight, so it's not that bad. Landed in Dallas. Me and a couple of the guys, we realized we're gonna miss lunch with the crew, so we went to our own place called 6 Feet Under. Great little place in the south side of Atlanta. I can highly recommend it. Little bit of tourist there for you.
Cool.
And we did it purposely because once we get to the event, we're working 16, 17 hours and not leaving that venue. So we had to get out once, you know what I mean? It arrived. The first day is the setup day. They're setting up the Warhammer, or no, the World Championships of Warhammer, the WCW. So I arrived, and it was pretty much that all those tables were set up for Sigmar, 40K, Kill Team, Underworlds. I don't know if Warcry was there. I can't remember. I know Blood Bowl was not. But the big event, if you want a golden ticket, all those gold tickets you hear about, that's the people coming to this event. So all those tables were set up when I arrived, which is good. Means I got to go right to start tackling the narrative setup. But the size of the championship hall doubled this year.
Nice.
It was amazing. Like I walked in and said, "Hey, this is where the narrative was last year," and the hall was just open because it was those air walls, just 2 football fields long.
Wow.
Of just Warhammer tables. Amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and there's ample room, so they gave ample space between the tables so you could sit down your stuff and you weren't cramped.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I should have shared these pictures with you, Neil. I apologize, but going through it, we had some custom trophies this year too. Not those resin ones that we've gotten, but these are for 40K and Sigmar. So for 40K, it was half Tyranid, half Space Marine. And for Sigmar, half Skaven, half Stormcast. Custom trophies in their own custom case. Absolutely stunning. I would love to win one of these. I never will have a chance because I'm not good enough. And then there's our little Terminator we set up there. More pictures I'm showing right now of the hall of the first day of games. I'm like seeing thousands of people for Warhammer in one place, in one room, is just amazing.
Yeah. Always inspiring. Always gets the hobby juices flowing too.
Yeah.
When you're around other hobbyists and stuff, we're enjoying it.
It was good. But yeah. But after that, went to set up the narrative end, which tables get to be more fun. There's some narrative terrain we have, so it was a little more relaxing. It wasn't so you have to follow this pattern so everyone plays the same game type thing. So had a good time with that. That narrative kicked off the day after. Had a great time. I was in charge of one room, Desert Penal World of Kuminos. It's a high gravity desert world. So super fun. Oh, here's a quick peek of the break room. You can see what we're all this is me walking in during the reveal show, Neil. Me and Alex went through the reveals earlier in the show, but all the reveals that happened, I literally walked in to eat my Chick-fil-A in 5 minutes. I saw like 8 Necron, or I'm sorry, Necrons. I saw 8 Eldari models, and I left. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but those are cool. I'll see them later.
Hmm.
It was nice. I got pictures of some costumes going on here within the hall. Um, Here on screen, real quick, there was these MacGuffins that were part of the grand narrative this year. So these 3 devices we had to there's 3 sides in the grand narrative. I'll go back to us here for a second. So Neil, there's three sides in the grand narrative. There's the Imperium, there's Chaos, and Interloper. Now, just because you're of a specific faction on your army doesn't mean you can't fight for one of those 3. You choose which 3 you're going to be in.
Hmm.
So there were some Votan specifically that were for Imperium and some that were for Interloper. And within that, you form these battle groups, and there's these discords that you get thrown into. So you have a Discord, and in the Discord, there's also your battle group chat channel. You go with your battle group every round to face another battle group.
Okay.
So these Discords are full of people who, months ahead of time, have established friendships and game plans. And literally years after, like the first grand narrative, those chats are still popping off. Because
Really?
people
Wow.
made and I say that because I want to encourage everybody, like, even if you're a light 40K player, like if I wasn't working at this, I would find a reason to go to at least one in my lifetime. I think this is one of those must-do events for a Warhammer person, as long as you play 40K on any level, because it's all about fun, and you form these weird lifelong friendships with these random people.
Are you a little bit? You find yourself a little bit jealous of the players when you're working at these events?
Yes and no. I recognize a bunch of them, so like and they recognize me because I've been to all of them so far. So like in a weird way, I'm part of their group. Um, they'll know, if they're listening, they'll know the ones they are. Like hold, you'll know. But like I form like a weird different level. But like it would be so cool to be part of one of those groups and just be fully immersed in it.
Yeah.
But also too, like this is one of those few instances where seeing how the sausage is made isn't that bad. Like the sausage is a lot of work, but it's fun in its own different way. For instance, I'll tell a story near the end about me twerking in front of Weta. Uh, let's get some more pictures up. These MacGuffins, custom made, absolutely stunning, high quality stuff. That's what drove the players throughout the event. Next up on screen, will flash forward. These are all, by the way, if you go to my Instagram, strength_hammer, there's a 2024 U.S. Open highlight story section. Most of it's grand narrative because that's the only one I really got to this year. But on screen right now is just a lot of the best painted from the grand narrative, which is just some stunning armies. And like I'm starting Votan, and like I'm glad I got pictures because there's so many Votan armies that were just absolutely gorgeous. You know, like people care about that army.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll try and get through these on screen so people can pause if they want to look a little deeper at them. And also there's people that came. So Matt from Mini Wargaming organized a collective of Tyranid players to create his own custom hive, and they came in about. You didn't have to paint the same color scheme, but most people did. Like he put out guides on how to paint the color scheme that he did. There was like 40,000 plus points of this one color scheme, and then an extra like 15,000 of people who didn't change their color scheme. Just amazing. Like
Yeah.
I didn't go single round in here because like I was essentially a voxel Callum as the character, so I was in charge of a specific room, organizing, getting the players going, and kind of like TOing if I needed to, which is very light. You don't need to, but I did not have a single round without a bunch of Tyranid players because of that. It was crazy.
Interesting. Yeah, it's really. Well, it seems like the hobby is is at the forefront for these kind of events, which is super inspiring and right up my alley.
Yeah, and
So
so much costuming too. Like we're about to reach a point where I feel the players are going to start having better costumes than some of the voxel callum, which is an issue. Me included. Like I'm like, how do I step up my game?
right, you get some professional cosplayers running around in there, then yeah, you're gonna have tough competition.
Yeah. Oh, there's me and Steve Wren. We got a morning workout in Saturday. So Steve Wren, he runs events at Warhammer World, and he listens. So shout out to Steve. Also, let us know in the comments because Steve had a hot take of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift being one of the most underrated movies of our generations. I will not
I do
reveal.
reference that movie a lot, but usually it's just when I'm driving really poorly
I
or
have
have to get somewhere very quickly.
I have video proof of his take on this. I will not reveal it. It is in my personal space in my heart and my phone. But shout out to Steve and shout out to anybody below who's also into Tokyo Drift. Okay, so next up on screen right now. So there was one player. He was a kill team player. So in the grand narrative this year, Neil, we had a bunch of people playing 40k, and one person in each battle group played kill team. The kill team players, they had smaller missions that were obviously shorter because they're still one game per 4 rounds. But what they did was relayed to the person in charge, Zach Rockner, as soon as it was happening, and that actually changed the narrative as we went each and every round.
Oh, wow, cool.
So it wasn't like an add-on; it was a driving force. So there was this one group where we had a kill team player. He said he's like, my kill team can't hold up. He's like, I'm getting tabled within like 45 minutes. His friends were there. They went out and bought fishing gear and started their own cult in the grand narrative about the Kraken whale or whatever it was. So they started like putting runes on people's hands if they joined their cult, and it was just so funny. Um, it's just players engaging, like letting the fun happen, and that was really cool to see. And next picture you can see here, you can see one of the other voxel callums, played by Rachel. She was on the same planet as me, but she was in a different room. But she was a high noble who was corrupted by Slanesh, which was fun because her and I got to have like our back and forths since we were on the same planet in different viewpoints.
Mhm.
And more importantly, leading each faction was Lords of War. As a voxel callum, I'm in charge of a room. Lords of War, they're major characters. I'm a sub character. They are in charge of the entire battle. So on screen right now is this amazing cosplay done by Fred and L Design, um, played by Chris Stover, um, an orc mech, big mech, a full orc cosplay on screen right now. Absolutely amazing. Then we had Ben Marshall. If you go to Nova, you'll see him there. He was our Astartes because he's like 6'2", so he just put on platform boots and put on chaos garb, and he was our Astartes. Out of power armor, obviously, but he was the Chaos Lord of War.
Mhm.
And then we had Lydia. She's from the UK. She works over at Nottingham side, but she came over last year. She was one of the voxel callums, and this year she was promoted to Lord of War. She was a rogue trader with in charge of the Imperium. So all three of them, phenomenal job. That's all I gotta say. Like they really drove it home, and it's nice because they interact. Like the voxel callum, like we're in the room, we're causing our own sort of shenanigans going on. Whereas they're doing like they go room to room and just kind of say things going on. So like we're telling them in chats what's happening and the shenanigans we're putting on, or cool things that some players like. I can't tell you how many times someone's be like, man, how cool would it be if this Warhound Titan blew up when it died? So, I'll just be nearby. I'll hear it. I won't say anything. I'll find a Lord of War as I walk by. Like, hey, that table in there, they'd be jazzed up if that Warhound Titan blew up when it died. So, like, the Chaos, Ben would walk in there and be like, I hex this thing. Whenever it dies, it will automatically blow up. And everyone's just like cheering and excited. And it's just like the coolest thing ever. Um, that's the back end of it. But, like, it's fun to make cool things happen because it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I love the sound of that.
And like I said, the Lords of War will go through and do their own thing, bless the Chaos Gods. They'll like give bonuses. I'll give bonuses during games too. Like and they'll give major bonuses. They'll give minor bonuses. Um, and then there's these briefings for 3 times a day: morning, midday, and evening, where the story progresses. Every player gathers in this one room. Major plot events happen. Just a super cool time. On screen now is a couple of the cosplayers I ran into. Jumping on the left side, he's a Slanesh player. He was at the Grand Air last year. Absolutely phenomenal. He just loves Slanesh, plays into it. Jim on the right was an Eldari, full Eldari costume, like mask and all. It was amazing. And you can see me in my little Votan costume there. And also, as you can see on the next slide, any enterprising Votan who wants money, I put a little sign out that if you wanted water for my room, which was free technically, I was asking for 10 Imperial credits deposited to Votan coffers. Received some trinkets as payment for that, so it turned out pretty well and profitable. Yeah, just beautiful sights at the table. Here's a bourbon that I did not partake in while working.
That is duly noted.
Duly
We hear.
noted.
I have heard that.
But this was a great bourbon, and it's on screen right now. Bib and Tucker. All I gotta say, highly suggest you try this. It's a great bourbon. Sorry. All right, moving on. Rachel, who's corrupted by chaos, she offered free water. Please enjoy this free refreshment from the powers of the dark gods, provided with a little chaos symbol attached to it. So, just a little fun we get to have in the room there.
No bourbon there though. That's unfortunate.
No, yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't give out free bourbon. I will say this: anybody that handed out something that was technically alcoholic, I literally saw every single person there card the person they were gifting it to. Whether it was like a Jello shot, it looked like blood because they were a corn player, or something like that. Like, hey, can I just make sure you're 21? I can respect that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny. Like it's like, okay, sure, whatever. But also we do not encourage drinking at these events. But and to be fair, I do want to say that in all seriousness, zero problems. There was adults who had some adult beverages they were enjoying their adult beverages. Absolutely zero problems. Nobody was going too far. They were just having a nice casual drink with somebody nearby. So that was nice to see. Not a single problem.
That's the difference between when people are being competitive with each other and when people are just hanging out. So.
Exactly. But like everybody's like, there's limits. We're gonna be within limits, and it was all good. So I do want to shout that out because like there's if you're planning on coming to this and you're not a drinker, don't feel like you're gonna be drinking. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. You might get offered a drink, you can politely decline. No harm, no foul. Everyone's gonna be cool with it. All right,
Nice.
back to fun pictures. So the Kill Team players got a special surprise. If they won their last game, I got to send them immediately up to the briefing room where they got to play against the Lords of War who had models custom made off of their costumes using all GW bits, professionally painted. So there was the Chaos one on screen right now, the Rogue Trader, and the Orc Big Mech. There was a moment, the Orc Big Mech, I was technically on the interloper side, so I was following the Big Mech mostly. He had a little friend, Zoggett the Grot. Zoggett the Grot turned on the machine, that little MacGuffin piece. Didn't go so well, so he's on screen right now. Charred skeleton remains of this poor Grot. But what was funny, if you look, people were leaving tributes to him. It became a shrine that we refused to move until the event was over. So there's teeth from orcs, there's patches, there's random 3D printed stuff. Because like the thing that also it's kind of interesting about the grand narrative, and this was not like anything planned. It even started the first one. People would make patches for their battle groups or dice or like little 3D printed things, and then they would start giving them out to opponents to just like, hey, thanks for playing. But they also gave them to us as the voxel callum. I come back with so much like cool little trinkets and dice to go in like my trophy case or like on my gaming table. So kudos to the players because they always do a great job. And even this past year, like the voxel callum started bringing our stuff to kind of give out the players. which I'm
Yeah.
going to talk to you about in a little bit here. But if you look on this little shrine picture, there's so many of those trinkets everywhere. It is amazing. There's a full beer, there's a full blood pack Jello shot, candles, objective markers, dice, teeth, just everything you think of. There's even a grot plush. Someone bought a grot plush from the GW store and put it next to him. Just amazing. Uh, as the story progressed, the devices opened up for good or for ill. So I'm showing pictures of them in their fullest form right now. The Chaos one I think was the coolest because it contained a real sword.
Nice.
Also, returning player. There's a Bellicor cosplayer there. He looked very hot, but it was a very cool costume.
We had a tail.
Mm-hmm. He had tail and wings. It was amazing. Oh, I got to hang out with my dear friend and brother, Anthony Margot, AO's coach. He was there on the Sigmar
Yeah.
side. He was doing the streaming too, which is great to see. But also Shadowhammer from Australia was also there with a golden ticket. So Anthony brought him down so we could finally meet because he's a big Daughters of Cain fan too. So shout out to you, Shadowhammer. It was great to finally meet you in person. Real quick here, show off some of the swag I got. So this is everything I purchased or just had with me by the end of the event. Just a shot glass, coins, dice, trinkets, dice things, keychains, cards, models that I bought from the GW store. Just showing off some swag here. It is a super fun time. You'll notice if you're watching this on the bottom left, there's a couple of Fire Slayer dice. Now, Neil, I'm going to bring you back up here. I'm a Votann player.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I have Fire Slayer dice? That's not even in existence, right? But
Okay.
Grimnir exists.
In 40K?
He's not as the god, but Grimnir as like a character kind of exists. It's more of like a title for the Votann. So I wanted to know how, as a Votann, could I interact with the players? I could do fun stuff, but like my character's very laconic, very stoic. I'm supposed to associate with the Votann very highly. Shout out to my friend Brian Boswell, who's playing a Tau, not corrupted, but like he was a guardsman who was with the guard with the Tau, so for the greater good. He gave me this idea, and really I started doing it, and the players ran with it. I took a bunch of Fire Slayer dice because that's the only dwarf dice I could find in the GW store that they'd let me take for free.
Mm-hmm.
I went in the first 2 rounds to every single Votann player in the entire event. Introduced myself, gave them dice, and said, use this dice to trade for profit for yourself, either for benefits in the game, essentially, or trinkets from your opponent, as in dice or 3D printed stuff, tchotchkes, whatever. And they went to fucking town. Start of the next day, I had players come up to me and showing me like all the stuff that they traded throughout their games, starting with those 2 dice. And it was just like exponential. And they're trying to give it to me. I'm like, no, that's yours to keep. That's your profit. But we must stay together as kin. And like, let's unify us all, no matter what side we're on. And I was just playing that bit up. Jump to the end of that night. Work's done. I'm hanging out with some of the coworkers. We're having a drink before we hit the hay. All of a sudden, I get an invite on Discord to the Votann specific Discord created by all the Votann at that event for the narrative. They started unifying themselves. I guess you could say I kicked the pebble down the hill, and they just ran with the avalanche.
I love it.
So much so that they would interact with Lords of War to try and get profit. That the Lords of War, and I was telling the people playing Lords of War, I was giving them all the insight of this was going on. They were reciprocating and playing into it because it was fun. And other Voxel Calum were doing their own thing too. So I wasn't the only one, but it made, if you're a Votann player at this event, like we're all on a Discord together and we're all friends. Like they're helping me build my list right now. I've talked to them today.
Mm-hmm.
and it was just cool to see that sort of unification, just for fun. Um, and like everybody just bought into it, and it's what I can say about these events is like I don't watch WWE anymore. I don't watch wrestling.
Yeah.
But if Neil, if you're just like, hey Chuck, I got tickets to this wrestling event, let's go. Yeah, I'll go with you because you're my friend. And while I'm at that event, I'm gonna turn off my brain and just enjoy the event as if it was real life.
Right. Right.
And it's the
Yeah.
most enjoyable aspect. That's what you need to do with this grand narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all silly, fun, and fake, and we're sort of LARPing.
Mhm.
Forget the outside world and just have fun with it. And it is the most exciting experience of your life for Warhammer.
That's cool. I mean, even if you go back to some of the stuff you've done for AOS, like your oh geez, what was the very first one that I ever like?
When I went to Realms
Oh
of War,
no. It was the one you ran. It was with your
oh
club.
the
Uh,
Neo stuff.
yeah. Well, it might have even been before that. It might
Really?
or maybe it was that. But you were running very similar things where like
Yeah.
every once in a while you'd be like, oh, and so this, right? And so you're like, oh, okay. So then the players would, you know, adjust to whatever you said, right? So that was a lot of fun. So at a much smaller scale, right? So
Yes. Yeah.
mhm,
It's fun. It's a lot of work at a bigger scale, but it's just as satisfying.
mhm.
Just to run through some more pictures real quick. The Warhammer community guys, like they had a James, who was the best photographer Games Workshop has, I think, for these types of things, told us, "Hey, I want to get pictures of all the voxel callum in our costume," and he did such a phenomenal job. That which is, if you're on my social media, you'll see the picture that is me. Um, you can see here, he took pictures of all of us, of different states, like seriousness, not seriousness, of all of our costumes. Some with Lords of War. There's some fun ones in here, but like everybody's costume was just so great. Um, some they made themselves, some were made by others. On screen right now is mine. It's my current profile picture because, damn, it's the best picture I have of myself right now. And then on screen right now, there's Rachel in her costume, and then our Max. If you're at ever a U.S. Open event, you see this gentleman with this beautiful curly mullet named Max. Say hi. He's one of the reasons this event exists and can run smoothly. He's the background operations guy. He makes it work.
Mm.
So unsung hero, but yeah, just some amazing pictures and fun. Like I said, we're all having fun. Um, during the event too. Here's the last little group shot of all of us, the voxel column together. Such a good time. Um, the last thing I want to kind of mention here. Oh, let's get you back up. There you are. Um, oh shoot, I lost my brain. My brain just went numb. Oh no, I forgot it.
I don't know how to help you here, man. Last thing that you want to mention.
One of the last things I want to mention is just probably just how exciting this whole event is. It has if you've listened to the past couple podcasts, you might have been like, "And Chuck's kind of tired of Warhammer. He's doing so much other stuff right now." And I was kind of bummed out on Warhammer. I won't lie. I didn't have an army I was painting. Um, Fourth Edition Sigmar is not my favorite, even though I played some games recently. But yeah, it's been an odd place. I've been exploring other hobbies lately, which is fine. Everybody needs to do that, so I don't want to bemoan that nor think that's a bad thing.
Mhm.
I forgot how going to a Warhammer event gets you so fucking jazzed up for Warhammer. Like
Yes.
I had zero hobby planned for the rest of this year, and now I have Votan stuff, a random dwarf guy, because I went to this event.
Mhm.
I came back, and then that weekend after, I ran a Age Sigmar club day.
Mhm.
Got in a couple games of Sigmar. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely
Yeah.
loved it. Amazing. Um, had a great time with my daughter's cane. I almost pulled out the White Dwarf list, the Gromado list from the White Dwarf, but it was kind of buried, so I just like I was like daughter's cane. But and I have another one scheduled this week. I am so jazzed up for Warhammer right now. It's so fun, and I forgot what this is like. Like when you told me Brewhammer, hey, can you send your money in? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I want to play.
Yeah. That's kind of how I was. The guys asked me about it, like, you coming? I'm like, fourth edition. They're like, he's like, man, it's Brewhammer. I'm like, yeah, you're right. All right, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Yeah.
even like Old World. Like I play it once a week with my buddy Tom kind of regularly, but like you have your event going, and I can't get Warhol to work, so I can't play my games.
Yeah.
So screw you, Warhol. Just fucking work. Seriously. I've troubleshooted. I don't know what's going on, but like that bummed me out. But like now I'm like, well, if I attack Matt, I can drive out to Matt's house and play him.
Yeah. So that's why I put you guys next to each other.
So I'm like, that's probably what I'll do next this month since it's a new month. Um, but yeah, like, oh, I remember what I was gonna say. So during this event, there was we in this year it's so much bigger. We essentially made a safe word. So last year there's no real the last couple years there's no real safe word, but this year it's like I need to talk not in character because I try to be in character as much as possible. All of us do. But like I have an emergency or I just don't understand what's going on. There's a safe word called Vermilion. So if you came up to me and said Vermilion, we would just talk as humans, character stuff aside. What do you need? How can I help?
Yeah.
So like there was times during like it was used off and on, but like during the briefings at the start, they would turn Vermilion on off, so they could like, hey, how's the event going? Everyone having a good time? And then they would go back into Vermilion and essentially be like, okay, let's do the narrative and have a good time. So in the last briefing, all the voxel Callum are in the back. And like our job is done. We get to go out and get applauded for having working our asses off, which always feels great. So we're just like all like in this chill mode, and Mike Brandt walks out and he's like, Vermilion Protocol permanently disengaged. So it's like we're all out of character now from here on out.
Mm.
As soon as that happened, I don't know what snapped. All the voxel Callums, we just started dancing. And we're in our costumes. So I'm like, I'm a Votan. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna show off my squat gains. I just started twerking. Who's behind me? Head of Widow Workshop, which I met him last year. He's phenomenal. I will say I also told him that he should do because they're doing those statues. He asked me last year. He's like, hey, who do you want to have most? I was like, Marathi. I said, you make a Marathi one, I will buy it immediately.
Yeah.
$1,700. I don't care. I will buy it. So whenever they came this year to reveal the newest one, which was Saint Celestine, it's funny. It's like, oh, it's nice to see you again. He's like, yeah, it's good to see you again too. After I said that, he said, I don't have Marathi yet, and he winked.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it may be years, but it's in his head, and he's a Marathi fan too, so it's all good. So I'm hoping.
Nice.
But yeah, also on my bingo card of life, twerking in front of head of Widow Workshop was not on my bingo card, but hey, you know what? I got the stamp.
Got it anyway.
Got it in there. But it's just like it was a super cool time. Actually, at the end of the whole event, all the Vox. So actually, there was one night the Voxel, not the Voxel column, the Votan Discord. They all went to a brew house together. I didn't go because I was exhausted. I had more work to do, but it's fun to see them connect like that. And then we did a group photo at the end, all the Votan and me. Like they're just like, yeah, you're like our Lord of War. I'm like, let's not go that far, but I enjoy that you guys clung onto my bit and ran with it. And it's just saying like one of those things like that. Even within the main story that's going on, there's these subplots that the Voxel Callum can do and also the characters can do as far as players.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is just as exciting.
Yeah. But it's kind of neat though that they saw you that way.
Yeah,
right?
I was very humbled by that.
Right? But that's really cool because, like, let's say you've got a commander, right? And this commander can be very, very popular. Sometimes as popular as the general, right? So that's neat. That's really neat that happens.
Well, I think what made me really happy is because the Votan, they're kind of outside of everybody. They felt like they had a core connection within this, and I felt proud that I was able to at least spark that because really they organized themselves. I was just hanging on, and they're a cool group, so that's why I started the fucking army.
Yeah.
But one last thing to show off here. So, on screen right now, Neil, there's a dollar bill you can see, obviously, but there's also a bunch of change amongst some rocks, and a Gold coin for the World Championships of Warhammer 2024. The reason I want to bring this up, I'll take it off screen right now. Go back to us. So, we're packing out. We're cleaning up everything. As we're leaving, we realize there's still some leftover of the coins for placing first, second, third at the Warhammer Championships.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked, all legit, like, hey, what are you doing with these extra coins? They're like, we're gonna get rid of them. So if anybody wants them, just take them. Obviously, we're not gonna sell them on eBay. You're not gonna get that. But I was like, okay, so I took some for some of the crew around here. That's fine. Like it's all for fun. It's not like we didn't actually earn it. I didn't win it. But I took one. I took the gold one, put it in my little change pocket on my jeans or watch pocket, whatever that thing's called.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing with this. Went through security. Obviously, took it out for security. Flew all the way home. If you've ever flown to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Neil, down one of the escalators is a giant T-Rex skeleton. There's George Washington, Jerome Bettis, and a T-Rex skeleton. That's how you get welcomed to Pittsburgh.
All right. Yeah.
In that bottom of that T-Rex skeleton, it's like a glass case, and people throw their coins and money into it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm on the escalator. I'll show you the video. So I'm like way at the top, and I just flick it over, and it lands inside. So somebody is going to clean out that at some point and be like, what the hell is this? And I thought that was a fun thing. No harm, no foul. But if you're ever in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania landing, see if that coin's still there. And if it is, let us know in the comments below.
Nice. Get yourself a free ride to the championships. Go crawling in there.
You can just say you won the championships in 2024.
Right.
And no one can argue. You have the coin, right?
Right.
Yeah, but that's it. That was the championships. A nice trip home. Landed. Like I said, unfortunately caught some con crud. It hasn't been awful. It's been more of like the inconvenience type cold more than anything else. So I can't complain.
Nice. Sound like you had an amazing time there. So I'm a little jealous. Just got to make one for fantasy or AOS. I'm in.
We all won it. It's one of those things too, like where like the bigger this one gets, the harder it gets to do any other one though.
Mm-hmm.
But they are looking at more to do like a Sigmar one or even a fantasy one at the US Open events, a smaller one. Yeah, well, it'd be a smaller one where it's like 30, 40 people.
Yeah.
At a US Open event.
Yeah, but at that point you can't really call it a grand narrative, can you?
No, it'd be a narrative, not a grand narrative.
Yeah.
But what I can say is if you are at any way, shape, or form a player of 40K and you have 2,000 points and you can afford it, because like it's a pricey ticket, I won't lie. It is the most, and I'm not the only one saying this. Other people have said this, and I stole it from them. The most Warhammer event in Warhammer. So Neil, we'll get you down to one. We'll get you there.
Yeah, probably not. Not for 40K.
I think you'd still enjoy it.
I'm not deep enough in the lore for 40K to probably enjoy it like some would.
I think we could get you. Don't you worry. We'll get you there. But Neil, I appreciate you being here while I just kind of rambled on about my experience there. So
no worries. It's always good to hear about it and listen to how it went. So hope everybody else enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. And next week we'll be back to more regular style content. I have an idea. I won't commit to it. I'll run it past Neil first. But we'll see you all next week for some more Strength Hammer fun on the Strength Hammer podcast. So stay Stormcast strong and happy hopping, everybody.